Hi, welcome to episode 4 of second season of Hutt Cartel. We've been over our safety tools previously. I won't have to talk about the gauntlet because if you're this far through, you know all about it. But hopefully, if you are watching, keep an eye out for gauntlet open gaming. Hopefully, at the end of the month. And yes, we all got a weird recording in progress audio message for the first time. So the first few minutes of this, few seconds of this, are all of us looking slightly confused. But yes, so I'm going to go around and in reverse character keeper order, if we could have a quick introduction of your character and what you did, where you're at last scene. And I would like to ask you, what is it that you're keeping secret from the other players? Just to make it clear, like what the various secrets are, because I feel as though there are some, you've shared a lot of information, but not all the information between you, So I just want to be clear what you think your secrets are at this point. So, oh, and can everyone please rename themselves in Zoom at some point? But yes, Saaral, if you would like to take that away.
Yeah, we're starting over here then. Yeah, so I am Alexi Sargent. Follow my gaming endeavors online at Cloven Pine Games, and I am playing Saaral Muuva. She is the CSF officer, a female CHIS in a well put together uniform. Usually, she's looking a little more harried at the moment. I think her biggest secret is she shot and killed her partner Crix Herrer, and has allowed the blame to fall on cartel assassin Scara. That's something she has not revealed to anyone. She's become a little bit unsecret by taking this bad dose of spice, and in the process has spilled the beans to Etema, the rebel spy, that she, Saaral Muuva, is in addition to a double agent for the Coruscant security forces and the Hutt Cartel, taking some orders from a handler with the ascendancy. So that's become less secret than it was. But her guilt in Crix Herrer's death is still secret.
Yeah, and you shared that information with the best spy in the galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
Whose immediate response wasn't like, how do I exploit this information, use it against you, but was like, me too. Yeah. And then Scara.
Yes, I'm Anders, he, him. I'm playing Scara, the assassin. Her secrets, well, her biggest secret is still that she wants to get out. She's trying to figure out a way to get off planet, preferably with her close friend Czern, possibly with her friend Etema, but mostly she wants to get out of here.
So I just want to, as well, that Czern was the one who took Ebla out of the refuge. In character, you actually haven't revealed that to any of the other ones, right? Like you've spoken about finding Ebla, you've spoken about tracking down Czern. You have not actually revealed that that the cartel probably has Ebla and that your friend was the one who did it.
Yeah. So that's true.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Is that a conscious secret or just a?
Ooh.
I suppose on two levels, I'd like to know if it's like a secret that you want to keep on the meta level, like as players, and if you didn't mention it, if it is a secret on the meta level, is it a secret in character because of omission, or because of just not making the two dots together?
I think Scara just hasn't. She doesn't think it's all that important. She's not intentionally keeping it secret.
It's not an intentional secret. It's just you don't. Yeah, you're not as invested in Ebla as anybody else is, right? So that Ebla's really at Etema. Yeah, it's only Etema who really cares about it, and Saaral Muuva has been asked to care about it by Paden Fen. Okay, but that's cool. That's exactly what I wanted to find out. Yeah, and you haven't told anybody about going off world yet, other than I think hinting at it with Czern. That's it.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. And then Etema, probably the woman who has the most secrets of everybody, although everybody also, somebody knows all of her secrets, you know, like.
Hashtag worst spy. I'm Rich, use the he, him pronouns, and I am playing Etema, or Etema, who is a Ratataki, which they are gray-skinned, tribal, tatted, humanish people who come from a highly savage and brutal planet. She was born here in 1313 and was a sex worker until recruited by the rebellion, and she became a rebel spy who infiltrated the Black Sun cartel, but then foolishly gave up her handler to a turncoat and lost her handler, and has been in the wind for the entirety of this small series and has had no success finding a new handler or getting in contact with Alliance itself. The only other rebel sympathizer has been stolen away from her. She's mostly terrible at her job. However, she did stumble into this Chiss ascendancy thing. So she does have one chit in her favor, if only she could find some place to turn that in. And a secret that Etema is holding is that, yeah, I think, and I'm going to tie this into the Confess My Sins failure that she had, gosh, was it 2 games ago? I think she actually is worried for and cares about Czern and wants to see her come out of this self-destructive funk, along with all the other missions and other underworld dealings that she has to care for.
Yeah, Etema is totally in over her head. And finally, Boxy.
So my name's Steven, and I use the pronouns he, him, and today I'm playing Boxy, whose pronouns are he, him. And Boxy is a retooling of the spouse playbook in Cartel as the protocol droid. And Boxy is trying to get his freedom from Inez or from Etema or anyone who would really provide it, to be honest. And there's some secrets that Boxy has, like, that others know, like Etema knows that Boxy's been spying on him and reporting back to others, and Boxy, I think that Etema knows that Boxy knows her secrets, but I think the one secret that no one else knows is that Boxy's restraining bolt is a little bit glitchy and allows him to circumvent the wishes of his owners in a way. He can't directly confront them, but he can scheme behind their backs.
So that the secret is that to the rest of the world, Etema is the only one who knows at this point. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Well, and with that, I think that a good place to start would be with Boxy's opening session move, because last time we found out that he's not doing a very good job of keeping the Sarlacc's belly going. You know, the Wampa got sick. The Gundark wasn't eating. Yeah, wasn't bringing in the money. So let's do that one.
You're muted, Steven.
Sorry. I was like, you're talking about the whatever there's a stretch of downtime between sessions, roll with hustle and see how it looks. So I rolled a 9 and my hustle is a 1, so that's a 10.
That's a 10. Okay, so you can clear your stress track. You start the session with 0 stress.
Ooh.
And it's all going well. You know, the Sarlacc's belly, which is why it's extremely, you know, you've just got Fido to like stabilize, like to patch up the wampers, and you're about to put them back when some cartel guys come down along with a cook that Oyunavan, who has he is missing an ear now, and you can see that it's been removed recently, and he's looking very furtively and smoking death stick after death stick, and he comes up to you and says, so I'm supposed to put these in the back in one of your cages.
And it's a case of death sticks?
No, he's smoking death stick after death stick,
Oh.
and there's a bunch of like heavies with him, who are all like bringing in, and you recognize his stuff as cooking supplies.
Oh.
Yeah, and in fact, as he's asking you where it is, in the back, right?
So I direct him, I take him out, and if I take him to the old Rancor holding cage. This is probably the biggest one that I have. And no one wants to go there because it smells of death and decay.
And he wrinkles his nose and he says, yeah, it's not me who's going to have to go here. And he goes, over here, guys, over here. And they push in, and you see that they're pushing in all of the stuff. And alongside of it is, you see a slave collar and control rig and a pair of restraints. And he says, yeah, boss said this is going to be the new place, right? So you keep your vocoder or mouth or whatever it is that you've got built in there shut, right? Don't want to piss her off.
Understood, sir. And are you going to be cooking here?
Me? They don't trust me to cook anymore. Should never have listened to that goddamn Muuva chiss. Like, said it again. And he's like shaking, and you get the impression that he's basically been told that he's not going to be needed by the cartel anymore. They're going to get someone better, someone who can meet their quotas and not get distracted with side projects like Saaral Muuva clearly has asked him to. So I think you can also get that Saaral Muuva, I think, your scheme is gossip and everything, right? So you can get that. I think maybe even he was saying this to one of the guys who's like, what the hell happened to your ear, man? And he's like, oh, don't ever trust a chiss, right? So yeah, that's your start of session. You've got some more intel on things. This is clearly where they intend on bringing Czern Vizick, and essentially like putting him to work one way or the other.
I think that I'm going to start putting some of the people together, some of the employees together to try and hide a little bit of this, to make like a drop in front so that, there will be some kind of creature in front, but behind that creature will be where the cook's area is, just to make sure that all the employees, or even, any of the bettors who come down to look at the animals, any of the VIP bettors who come down to look at the animals, they're not going to see the cooking material that's in the back. Okay.
So you're making attempts to hide this. That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of stuff that would impress a crime lord, showing initiative. And then let's cut over to Saaral Muuva. And, we've got a start of session move for you. And I think this start of session move is taking place at the wake for Crix Hera, as a CSF task force, is gathering to honor a fallen hero, Crix Hera, and Trusk as well. But, Trusk is less of a figure than, mostly Crix. Trusk was kind of an asshole with everybody. Crix was a goddamn hero. He brought down Black Sun.
Yeah.
He's a master of Taris Cassie. But yeah, and this whole affair, Rex is even here. He doesn't, if a droid could look uncomfortable, Rex looks uncomfortable here, but it wouldn't look well to not be part of this. And everyone's telling stories, particularly this. What is the name? What's the species of tuk-tuk? Anyone know off the top of their head? Pondu Baba or whatever he's called. The little guy who speaks.
Yeah. I don't remember his. I don't
his
remember
old partner.
his species, but yeah, he's the little guy, Babu Freak from.
Babu Freak, that's it. Babu Freak is a Anzellan. Anzellan, yes. I'm going to put that in the thing because
Good call.
I think Anzellan. Yeah, and it's this Anzellan. You haven't seen him around. You've heard about him. He used to be part of the task force. Apparently, he made it big somehow. He's retired, but you know he's going like, and he's like telling all of these stories about, you know, Crix Hera was like, you know, he knew what it meant to be a cop on 1313. He knew everything, and Tuk-Tuk's paying for this whole affair, right? Like,
Oh wow.
he's loaded. He's like, you know, rented out the place. Drinks are on him. There's a little hologram of Crix like stood there, and of course, along all of the walls outside the place are wanted, scat for the murder of thingy Scara. And what I want to ask you, Saaral, who in your squad? So we have some NPCs listed in your squad still, right?
We've got 2 left because Krusk and Crix are dead now. So we've got Miri and Lamaya left.
Miri and Yesen, or Layson. The first name. Layson, Miri, and Lamiara, right? Lamia.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So who in your squad looks up to the ISP? You know, who is it who looks up to you? You know, because Krusk didn't like you for being ISB, right? Who is it who's like the opposite of that? Who's like, wow, you used to be a part of the ISB. Like, tell me what that was like. Like, do you think they'd take me one day? Could you put in a good word for me?
It's got to be Miri. Miri is a you know, idealistic young human who like buys all of the Imperial propaganda about, you know, bringing order to the galaxy and, you know, helping people live their lives in peace, you know, through judicious application of force.
Nice. And I've made a space for her in the character keeper. If after this is done, you want to find a picture for her,
Yeah.
I would love that. Yeah. And you know, you're talking, so why don't we roll that start of session move now? And it'll be because from what I remember of last time, it was like your role was in the sort of the group plan was to find out where they were keeping Czern Vizick, right? So I'm going to use this to sort of inform how much information this naive rookie lets slip.
Yeah,
when they've clearly been told to not tell anyone at all about this, right? Yeah.
Very casually, you know, bring up, it's, you know, see, and Crix was a real hero. That's right, you know. But there's still work to do. Sadly, and you know, it seems like the cartel is all a buzz about the this cook we got in custody. Where was that safe house again?
Well, let's roll.
Yeah, perfect. This is with grit.
Yep.
So thanks to the advance I took, that's a +2 now.
Oh.
2d6 +2 infiltration.
Oh.
Somehow it's still a 5 because the dice hate me.
Wow. Let me see what I wrote down for a miss on this one. The Devaronian? Yeah. How do you know we have? Oh, I mean, like, I'm not supposed to tell anyone, but obviously, like, you know, you're Crix's partner, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Devaronian. They picked him up like it was just a traffic stop, you know, after that big explosion up on the upper levels. And he just started talking. He's been telling. He told us all about, like, well, yeah. Anyways, but he's helping build a case against, you know, Amara Tavi.
I see. That's big.
He's a real shebhole, though. You know, like, I can't stand the guy. He's always giving it that and giving it that. But yeah. So yeah, you know, They got me looking
These
down.
criminal lowlifes.
Tell me about it. He thinks he's something special. Like he'd almost think he's a moth from the way he talks. But Grand Moff, God, Emperor, really. But like, yeah.
Ideas above his station.
Yeah, but the safe house, is that place down on Allen Third? You know, that little.
Yeah, that's a good one. Held some important people there. I bet he's pleased.
Yes, it's that speeder repair shop. Like, so yeah, they got me, and I just came off shift, but
had to pay your respects.
Yeah, to Cricks, right? And then
to
you
Cricks.
hear a voice behind you go, "To Cricks," and Rex is stood right behind you, and Miri goes, "Sir," and she goes, and Rex goes, "Dismissed. Go fetch us another drink, officer." And you can see he's got a full drink that's just held in his hands, and he's just like, "Yeah, go get us more drinks, scrub." And he says, "Muuva, this must be painful for you."
You always hate to lose a partner, and especially one with such a heroic reputation.
Yes, Cricks certainly had a reputation. Now, remind me, when you entered, what weapon did the assailant have?
It looked like just a little holdout blaster, but looks can be deceiving, Prefect. She's a wily one. She was packing extra heat, pulled it out when we thought we had her cornered.
Yes. Well, the autopsy has come back on Krusk and on Hera. It's very interesting. So just walk me through it, and I'd like you to justify your behavior here.
Eminently reasonable. So Saaral, like, takes a steadying drink herself and says, "Absolutely, Prefect. I respect the need to follow all the procedures and make sure all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted. We, as per instructions,
I like the idea, by the way, that Arabesh has T's and I's. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah.
Rich was sharing in the Star Wars channel that like list of Star Wars equivalents to real world things. It's like Star Wars email is email. It's like, okay, sure. So Saaral like goes through an account of the raid where she I think she'll honestly say it all happened so fast she didn't see what happened to Krusk, right? But then make the claim that Scara pulled out bigger guns to attack her. And
well, let's see the rolls, because if you get a mixed one, then they have questions, right? So it'll be more a case of like him going over this narrative bit by bit.
Totally. I'm just giving the sense of the the basic lie here.
Yeah.
So just for your behavior, rolling with face. As I claim that basically I was doing my job. We just ended up outgunned, surprisingly. Face is a 1. That's an 8.
It's an 8, the best one of these, the one where you have to. There are a few questions, mark or stress, if you answered anything other than total honesty. Okay. So you saw Scara, the assassin's weapon. You saw her holding it.
So, yes, right. In that I saw the weapon she had.
I don't think you even saw Scara.
You make an interesting point. I'd forgotten how exactly it went down. Right. We were
Scara
just
blew
on her
out
way.
of the garage just as you came down, right? And that's when you took your opportunity to kill Cricks. So I think that's mark of stress, unless you say no, I didn't see it.
No, she'll say it happened fast, but there was Yeah, there's just an image seared in my mind of her with this, massive ordnance. Who knows where she picked it up or who was selling
Hey.
it to them.
Marcus stress.
I'm doing it. Yeah.
And then
need to sell this.
I know that you weren't partners long, but how were things between you and Hera?
I can't say I always understood him, Prefect. He seemed really torn up about the sorry, now I need to navigate all the way to the dead here.
Bramir.
He seemed really torn up about the Bramir case. He pulled us off of that that checkup you were having us do on the cook in order to investigate that. I didn't fully support that decision, but obviously he had more seniority than I did on this beat.
Yes, his report on that was very interesting. And then finally, he leans in close and like sub-vocalizes almost and says, Hera was a complicated member of the squad. Tell me, did he ask you to be involved in any of his complications?
I don't like to speak ill of the dead, Prefect, but he seemed to have his own agendas going on, and I didn't tip my hand about my thoughts on them. Figured I should watch and wait and report back to you.
I mean, I think that's close enough to the truth, frankly. Like, because you would totally have grassed him up if you could get away with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's only one stress from that range of things. I think it would be cheap of me to say, did you kill him, kind of thing. Yeah. Well, I think there's only one extra aspect there. What were you talking about Miri with?
Oh, just curious about her last shift. Sounds like she's being given the chance to prove herself with some important work, and I'm proud of her.
To say total honesty, but that was so close to the actual truth that I'm inclined to give that to you. Like, yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. And then, you see, Rex is about to ask you something more when this little figure climbs up onto the table next to you and shoves, grabs Rex's drink from him, slaps him on the back, and then hands you the other drink that's in its thing and says, and a little translator, this Arvenian. I'm never going to remember this one, am I? Anzellan. There's too many. I had an Ardenian in a different game, and it's just stuck in my head now. This Anzellan, Tuk, says, I hope we're all speaking about Crix.
Of course, we're here to honor Officer Hera.
Yes, your partner too, right? And he clinks his glass with you, and he says,
unique experience.
Yeah, tell me about it. We didn't always see eye to eye on some things. We had our differences, But when a man's partner's killed, he's supposed to do something about it, right? It doesn't make any difference what you thought of him. You're supposed to do something about it, right, Muuva?
He'd be very pleased to see this wonderful tribute.
So I can count on you to make sure that Hera's killer is brought to justice.
I'm working on the Scara case right now.
And there's a big grin on his face and says, yes, of course you are. To Crix. And to finding the low-life piece of dreck that shot him.
Here's to that.
Yeah. And I think just for the nature of this scene, I think I'm going to have to ask you to mark stress as well, because this is literally everyone talking about how much they're going to get the son of a bitch who.
Son of a bantha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who did this.
I'll mark the stress.
Yeah, and I'm going to cut over to a different character, but I just want to say that if you want to do a stress move here, you know, like lose yourself in the drinking kind of thing, you're more than welcome to.
That's a very interesting thought. Let me take a look at that and let you know what I go for that.
Cool. So let us move over to well, I'm curious about Scara, because we left last session with Scara knowing that, well, both Saaral Muuva and Scara know that Czern was the one who took Ebla from the thing. Paden Fen told Saaral, and Scara knows it already because Paden Fen came in angrily demanding answers from Scara. But I'm curious, is like, what's Scara's move now? Or are you just waiting for Saaral to tell you where Czern is?
Yeah. Etema's promised to back her up on the actual job. So she's waiting for that, but I think
Etema's asked you to find Ebla as well, though, hasn't she? Yeah.
yeah. But since I've subcontracted that out, I'm I don't know. Maybe I had figured out the part about the Imperials leaving the planet, right?
Yes, you know that the Imperials are leaving through there. You did go there, and you sort of
I
like
talked to,
you talked to him, but you didn't come with a demand or an offer, right?
No,
or
but
a thing.
I think I was just supposed to figure out what was going on. But I don't think, or did I misunderstand that?
Well, no, so you were told to look into it, right, and to find out more details. But all you found out was you just confirmed that this is the place where it's happening. You didn't you didn't say like when, who, where, like, because that would tip your hand immediately to or it would have involved a roll or something, right? But instead you came down and were like, so this is where it's taking place, and he was like, yes.
Yeah, I think I should probably check in with an S. Let her know what's going on, and then maybe get a drink or something, because
well, Inez will say that good. You don't need to keep me posted, Scara. I trust you. You got this. We've got the CSF officer working on this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just so you know, she's not our only CSS officer, of course. And I'm told that Miss Muuva is the witness that places you with Crix Hera. And I remember you telling me that you didn't kill them. Who to believe?
I didn't even see him.
Well, I know that you have no reason to lie to me about anything, Scara. So, I guess that means that Miss Muuva is the one who put the target on your back. Well, a bigger target, let's say.
I don't know. I mean,
they're pinning that bleeding heart from upstairs on you. They're pinning Trusk, the Trandoshan. I mean, I'm sure you killed at least one of them.
Yeah, I killed a Trandoshan.
Yes, well,
I think I did, at least. I mean, he looked dead when I
yes
left.
But, well, perhaps, remind Miss Muuva when this is all over of where she should be pointing things. Away from us.
Sure. I'll talk to her, and just in case this sort of thing happens again, maybe it might be good if I knew who the other CSF officer is, so I don't kill them.
No, Scara. Sometimes you remind me of myself so long ago. Despite all this, and how all that you have done for us, you know that is not how it works. But
Yeah. Just
next time, Scara, I would say perhaps if they take you, there's less of a problem than you killing them in daylight. Easier to tidy up. You know, there are always people to be bribed.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure I'm walking out of there if they take me in.
I leave it to your discretion, Scara, but know that I am always here for you.
That's good to know.
So I just wanted to throw that to make it very clear, because I don't think that it's a secret. I think that it's not like public knowledge about who was in that room and who pins it, but it's public knowledge within CSF, which means effectively it's public knowledge to the cartel at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But you wanted to do something else?
I think I want to do a stress move. I'm not capped out on stress, but I think Scara will just go down in the 8 lives and have a drink, and then another drink, and maybe a drink.
Well, guess who's already having a bunch of drinks there already?
Yeah.
It's Czern.
Yeah.
So, would you like to lose yourself in a substance? And it sounds like alcohol, right?
Yeah. And this never goes well because this is grit and I have a -1 in grit, but we'll see. Oh, 7. I didn't miss completely.
A 7, where you clear your stress track, but you take a move off the alcohol list. Make a scene, let something sip to the wrong person, or wreck something meaningful carelessly.
Ooh.
And I'll be honest, the thing that seems meaningful to me in this scene is probably your relationship with Czern.
Yeah. Oof.
But you can choose from those 3.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the most painful one is messing things up with Czern, so I should probably go for that.
Whichever one you I think all of them are interesting, right? Making a scene about how you've been wronged. I would love to hear Scara vent about how she's been wronged in the middle of 8 lives to Czern. And I would also love to let's stick something to the wrong person. Czern's not the only one here.
Yeah, I mean, she's just going to spill everything at this point. So, and some of it is bound to be some things she shouldn't tell Czern. So they're drinking, and Czern is enjoying herself. Like she always is. She's down to party, and and Scara tries to get into it, but she's just getting more and more depressed, basically. And I think she starts talking about I can't stay here. No, it's gonna be just a few months, and then you're dead or I'm dead, and it's all just poodoo, you know.
Well, you wanna go somewhere else? You wanna leave? You wanna leave home?
I can't. I mean, Ines
I'll miss you. I miss you so
Why
much.
don't you come with me? Come with me. We can go. We don't have to stay here. Unless she'll just use us up. You know how she is.
I mean, I don't know. She's no co. You know, like if we leave though, like, whew, I mean, this has got a goddamn 10 watt clown off my back. Jeez. I mean, she was not happy when I bought you that leg instead of paying her. Like, oof, what I had to do.
I mean, it's just everybody hates me here now. It's
I don't hate you.
No, you and Etema, you're the only ones. Everyone else just, I killed that CSF Trandoshan guy, and I killed that reporter, and I just killed
And
a
you
bunch
killed
of
that,
people.
and you killed Crix Hera, Master of Terra's Cassie, right?
I didn't kill Crix. He was a piece of poodoo, but I wish I'd killed him, but I didn't. And I know the ones who are taking the Imperials out of here, and I mean, if we have the credits, I'm sure they'll take us as well.
You know,
Yeah.
that Griffin, that Gundax, blind Sheb. Oh, I know he's the one who did it.
Did what?
The bomb. She looks down at you. She kicks your robot leg and then laughs. Like,
What? The one over here?
did he hit your head? Yeah. Who else would it be?
I don't know. I thought an S or maybe the clan or
Dead on a clan.
someone.
But your Jawas. And I think we'll leave it with that, right? As Baku, like, you know, raises a glass smugly across the side of the room. But what I say there is that, like, what you've let slip is to Czern, that you're definitely planning on leaving, and that you didn't kill Crix Hera. But you know, you're definitely planning on leaving is the big one, and you want her to go with you as well. Yeah. Okay. So I kind of want to see if Saaral Muuva is going to do the lose yourself in a substance before coming back. Sorry to loop back on you guys, but yeah.
I got it right. There's just, you know, the alcohol is flowing freely at this wake. My stress is mounting. So yeah, you know, I'll have a couple, maybe a couple more, maybe a couple after that I shouldn't have.
Okay, well, let's roll that move then. Plus,
okay, so this is with grit, so I'm good at this.
Evidence to the contrary.
And that's an 8.
It's an 8. So choose one of those off the list.
But I
get to clear your entire stress track.
I do clear my entire stress track. It's really interesting how the different stress moves either, you know, like either they give you the whole thing right on the on a partial hit, or they only give you the one stress on a partial hit, and you have to go.
Yeah, I am still wondering about maybe that being 2 stress on a partial, because the one is almost so fluid as to be inconsequential, you know, for the time taken on a scene.
So I got to choose something from the alcohol list. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna make a scene about how I've been wronged, right? Just complaining loudly to Layson and Lamaya about Prefect Rex asking me all these questions. You know, when I'm the one who's lost a partner here. You know, I was there backing up the hero Crix Hera when he was gunned down by the cartel. And where's this droid? What does this droid get off on? You know, asking me these suspicious questions.
What? They were doing that? You to Hera? I mean, they can't think it's you, right? And then you can see that this is Lathan, and Lamaya's like just drinking their drink. Like, yeah, they can't think it's you. Much more reserved.
I was his partner. We were working together. We were up against the worst the cartel had to offer. Yeah, with all due respect to Prefect Rex, I just don't think like getting the full, discussing how much of a wrong this is to her.
Tuk joins you, and like it soon turns into like this big bitching fest about Prefect Rex, and then Tuk goes like, "I'll sort it out," and you see him like storming over to the booth where Rex is just sitting like completely immobile, not doing anything, not really involved in the festivities, just looking at a data pad. And Tuk goes over, and the scene ends with Tuk talking to Rex.
We don't hear about what.
Yes. It's top of the hour. Do people want to take a bio break now, or we could just carry on? Yeah. Okay. Let's take a bio break. 5 minutes, and then we'll. So Etema and Boxy haven't had scenes. I would like to ask if you let's start with Boxy's, because I remember from last session one of our wishes was like a group planning session, right? And at the moment, Saaral knows both sets of information. Scara knows that Czern knows where Ebla is, probably, or some, like is a lead on that. But if either of you had individual scenes that you want to do before that, or if you want to get the information, I wanted to ask. So Boxy, is there anything you'd like to do, or?
I don't think so. I had the starting scene with my starting move, so I think I'm good there.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to check in because the protocol droid has a bit less autonomy, I think, than the other characters in some ways. And Etema.
Well, I already know where Czern is, so I think I could easily be in 8 Lives, maybe even in the VIP area, keeping an eye on Scara and Czern, but I don't know if that necessarily is a whole scene, just a placement thing if timing means we want a thing to happen.
I did mean, I mentioned it in the chat, the Dejarik parlor. I'm imagining that would be it's already a connection to the Bothan Spynet and how Saaral Muuva gets messages out to the Chiss Ascendancy. So, I specifically thought, well, it would be redundant to have 2 ways of you contacting your shadowy organizations, right? So I'm just wondering whether or not in that discussion about handlers, or do we want to save that for a scene like the Dejarik parlor and like the connections?
Oh, I mean, if you really think that she could potentially pick up a handler, she would be all about it. I just don't know if I, the player, had thought of a way for her to find a new handler. Like, I feel.
That was my impression. I wanted to bring it to your attention, because some things, but I think it's it's whether or not you guys want to talk. You would have already talked about that in that conversation. We can easily rewind and just say that was part of the details. It's that like. Because you saw a Dejarik parlor actually in that vision. You did see a Dejarik parlor in that vision.
Yeah, when I was leaking secrets out because of the bad batch of spice.
Right. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's tweak that then. I think I'd like to be at the Dejarik parlor trying to find my new rebel mommy or daddy or whatever.
What do you know your handler, Saaral Muuva? Because I'm not imagining him as your actual handler. He's a dead drop. He's a living dead drop essentially at this Dejarik parlor, right? He runs the I'm going to say he's like the Dejarik parlor like face,
Sure. Yeah.
And the Dejarik parlor is I'm kind of imagining it like like in like back in the days of the great game of espionage, right? Where there'd be like all the spies would know each other and they would hang out at like sort of neutral grounds and things.
This is like a cafe in Vienna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was divided in 4. And everyone knows that everyone here must be an operative for somewhere.
Yes. Even ISB, although ISB ones have to be very, very well behaved to to be allowed in here because they're the biggest risk, of course. But yeah, so you know, how do you know him by?
I think we just described him as a you know, an unassuming looking human. Maybe his name is Tanis. Have we used Tanis already?
No, Tanis is good.
All right.
The problem whenever I add new characters is that they always go in places with people who've been killed, so they all come up with like instantly crossed through when I type in the details. So yeah, Tanis, Dejarik, Parla, well, I don't know, Dejarik expert, I think, and tutor. You know, he doesn't claim to run the Dejarik parlor. The owners are here all this, you know, they're always away on business, but I'm always here to teach people the finer meanings of a game for a more civilized age. And so, Etema, you show up and you grab a table, right? And you look around, and there are lots of people back and forth, right? And then, you know, this unassuming looking human sits down in front of you. And again, if anyone wants to find a picture for Tanis, do feel free. And he sits down and says, we don't see many Ratataki playing Dejarik. It's not a popular game among your people.
It is an acquired taste for us.
Well, are you here to learn?
Yes.
Yes, Etema, yes.
So you know me. I'm sorry you have me at a disadvantage. You are...
You're a Dejarik tutor.
I see.
For today.
Well,
so,
thank you, tutor.
Yes, well, it's come a long way from the days in the streets. Yes, Etema?
Not as far as I'd like, but...
Well, in Dejarik, and he moves some pieces across the board, every move is always forward. The only question is where do you want to go?
I'm lost.
He smiles at that and says, well, Dejarik is a great game. It brings many people together. And by the way, do let me know if me speaking in euphemisms just becomes like endlessly chasing its own tail. But obviously, that's his character trait, is to never openly say what he means.
I'm into it right now.
Yeah.
There will be a point where Rich may have to raise his hand and go, okay, what did you mean?
Yeah.
I've come upon some very interesting and valuable information, but the people who I want to hear it, their ears are no longer open to me.
Yes, well, it's a shame what happened to Miss Astapone. She was a very good player.
It is.
Would you like to take over her game? And he gestures at a table that has like a already ongoing Dejarik game, you know, like suspended on the table.
I think I would.
Well, I'd like to draw your attention to the move for the Dejarik Parlor, an elegant game for a more civilized age and level of Coruscant. The Dejarik Parlor is quiet and peaceful. It's rumored to have a connection to the Bothan Spynet. When you use a secure HoloNet relay in the Dejarik Parlor, roll plus face to see if your contact responds. And a 7 to 9 communication is limited or insecure. On a miss, you get through, but slicers will sell your secrets.
That's a really cool move.
I was like, Bothan Spynet has to be connected in there somewhere, and slicers have to be mentioned somewhere.
Yes.
Who even knows what slicing is?
Who even knows? I love it. So I'm rolling with
Slicers
face.
just hackers, but in Star Wars?
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? But we have no real conception of what, you know, the method and the imagery of it is, right? Like, it just happens.
I raised my face, so I'm not going to suck at this.
Those are big words.
That's true. I probably should have rolled the dice first. Of course.
Wow.
It'll be a 6.
Okay. That's a miss. Well, you get through. Okay. The message. You sit on the Vizick board, and he leans in close behind you, and he says, think about what it is that you would like from this, and I'll show you a strategy that might bring it about. So basically, for the purposes of this first move, because I'm getting the impression that Etema isn't a Vizick expert, right? He's going to send you off with like strategies and books and things, on like all the stuff that like a proper spy would have been given, would already know, kind of thing, But the way I'm thinking of it is that like the Vizick game is like a coded message between the players, right? And you're playing your Vizick game like remotely with somebody else on the other side. Does that seem like a workable idea to people? Because I thought it's cooler than like
dig it.
You just talk on the phone. But yeah, so you tell him what it is. What's the message that you want to send? You want to just make contact with the New Republic and like try and like check in?
Yeah, I think it's just I'm in the cold. Can anyone
You want to
hear
come
me?
in from the cold? Yeah. And he says, well, there are some Vizick moves that lets you to return a stray piece back into your hand. And he works you through it. And that goes off. And somewhere in a dark room, a very janky looking hologram projector of a Vizick board replicates that movement completely. And you see a credits meter, like a bidding war starting on the left-hand side of the hologram thing. But obviously that's out of character. But yeah, so I think in return for that, you are going to have a meet. You are given a the Vizick board comes out and it's the numbers that they're represented on the board, because each square on the Vizick board is like got a designation, right? And that provides you the cipher that is then translated back out to like a location and a time which is of your choosing for dramatic purposes, Okay.
I'm into it.
Cool. Let me just write down that you rolled a miss on that one. Okay, and then, well, I suppose the question is now our group meetup. Like,
Yeah, let's get the gang together.
Where does this take place?
What's a place where we're not going to be doing this like right under Inez's nose, but we have like some degree of anonymity provided by the crowd or whatever.
So who all knows where Ebla is, or her husband is?
Czern knows where Ebla is. Saaral knows where
Czern.
Right? Czern is. Yeah.
Czern.
Vizick
Okay.
is, yeah.
So that's half of us. I kind of like the idea that we all stumble into each other while we're trying to get a hold of Czern, right?
Yeah, I'm just struggling because it's literally a case of all that Muuva has to do is tell Etema at this point, which she's already agreed to do. And then Etema needs to tell Scara, and somewhat Scara, Muuva needs to tell people that, one of the people who knows that Czern knows about something more about Ebla needs to pursue that lead, or go by another means, right? Like,
why don't we have Etema meeting with Saaral, and then and then Boxy and Scara can both turn up to that because everyone has business with Etema. Is that
sounds good to me.
is that legit?
Yeah.
Yeah. And where does it take place? Because I feel like it's 8 Lives would be a very wrong place for this, I think. The oil bath, perhaps, like you hire a private room back there.
Speakeasy.
Yeah, you hire one of the back rooms, or it could be, it could be Scara's old slum, in the lower levels in the Warrens, where this all started. Your old swoop bike garage down there.
I'll go to if Etema gives me
Etema, where would you like to meet?
Please go. I'll just go there. Right? Who was that addressed to?
I think Etema. Given that people are going to meet Etema, and we can assume a certain level of Scara is staying with you. If you intended to meet Scara here as well, then you could easily meet up at one of Scara's places rather than your own, right? We don't need to get too bogged down in the actual logistics of who's got the keys to whose front door at this point.
Fair enough.
Or it could be somewhere entirely new. It could be somewhere.
Where have we not explored? Because going somewhere entirely new might be a smart place. I'm leaning towards oil bath.
Yeah, I mean, somewhere entirely new will be you define somewhere new, and maybe it gets a move at some point later on in the fiction.
It could be a back room of the Tinwa clans area.
I don't trust them as far as I could throw them.
Okay.
Sorry. I think oil bath is good for me.
Back room at the oil bath is better than the back room at Tenwa clan, I think. I will say that you'd be a fool to trust a Tenwa clan with anything like that. This is one level up, 13, 14. It's open to do organics, droids. There is a back room there. This is probably one of the places more than anywhere Boxy is more welcome than the rest of you at the end of the day. But Etema, you've got a back room. You've been ushered in by TK2 Me, the remodeled HK protocol droid from a very unsuccessful line.
Yes.
And there is F1X, the medical droid bartender, and there is a whole range of droid entertainers. Like there's a droid stand-up comedy act tonight. It's great. It's going down well with the organics, but the droid audience doesn't seem to like it. And then when he switches things, something about the delivery, it's not landing either way. But yes, the HK TK to me says, friendly greeting, non-violence. Your back room is ready, miss. Please enter. We have prepared it for you. Query. Do you wish for privacy? No. Query. No. Honest query. Would you like full privacy?
Absolutely. Guaranteed. I'm willing to pay for it.
Overly optimistic statement. We can guarantee that. And if you're willing to pay for it, I don't think this is a strange. What level of lifestyle are you on?
It's mixed, right? Because I used to be in real good straits, but then I lost everything. So I have a standard lifestyle.
Standard lifestyle. I don't think it costs much to buy the privacy at the thing. I think that's within your means to purchase the bribe there. Yeah, I don't think this is a strain your finances. You go in, and Saaral Muuva joins you later.
Shelled out for the fancy private room.
This is important. You're important to me.
Oh, I'm blushing. Can't tell, because of the blue, but let's get on to business.
Yeah, good, because if we kept chatting, I would probably ask you about Pentorans and if you were crossbred, and that's not going to make anybody happy.
I got a lead on the cook. I know where the security forces have him hold up.
Okay.
He's spilling the beans. He's been selling out the whole cartel, as best as I can tell.
Okay. Well, that makes it easier to justify going to get him.
Yeah, though perhaps harder to make use of him afterwards if everyone's gunning for him.
You're not wrong. What did this cost you?
Just a couple drinks.
Well, good.
But I am going to need. I'm gonna need help if the heat gets too much within my unit. People are asking questions that I'd rather they simply mused on in silence, and a little distraction from the cartel at some point might be just the ticket.
Are you needing someone to collar? That's a term you use, right? I remember someone saying that when they arrested me.
You want us to clear Scara and pin things on Baku. I think to pull that off, we're going to need quite a story. We're going to need. I think we're going to need to do the old shapeshifter gambit.
I can tell you a way, by the way, because I was thinking about this. If it's of interest to you, I can tell you a different way of doing it.
Great. Because Saaral's suggestion was going to be a witness comes forward claiming that Baku is a shapeshifter who is trying to frame Scara by pretending to be her.
I mean, I love that. It's very Star Warsy as well, actually, now that I think about it. But Payden Fenn is the key witness here.
Yeah.
Everybody else just saw a gun. Even you, Payden Fenn and you are the key witnesses.
That's true, but I can't change my story without looking inconsistent.
Yeah, but you can say that he was there as well. And no one will care when he's away.
Filing that away. So I think the key thing is, right, we've all been trying to find Czern, but Saaral's going to say, I can point you at him, but you're going to need to take care of the exfiltration. I've been getting into too much hot water as it is.
So I just want to clarify. You're asking for Etema to make sure to give you something to draw the heat off you, like a collar or helping like frame Baku, like handing him over to the Imperials. But is that a proposed deal? Because what's that in return for? For the location of the safe house? So you're renegotiating the deal?
Yeah, because we had that deal was already on the table, right? So the only question, like we negotiated that last time. So the question is, can I propose a new deal at this point, or is it just working out what we've already done?
I mean, like, this is Star Wars, so like you can always change the deal.
Yeah, pray I don't alter it any further.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm proposing a deal just based on what I had to do how I had to stick my neck out to get this information in the first place.
I mean, I think that's more than reasonable. I think it also tells Etema what kind of person she's dealing with here.
Cool. So yeah, let me check on that. Propose a deal. When you propose a deal, you want roll with face. So yeah. So my deal is, I need you to provide the patsy to draw some heat off me and help with our stick it to Baku plan.
And your offering in return, as the deal currently stands, is the location of the safe house.
Yeah.
That's it.
Location of the safe house, and we'll see. We'll see how the roll goes. See if I need to throw in a sweetener.
Yeah.
All right. Rolling with faith. With face.
Faith would be a different game entirely.
That's a 4. I'm really uncertain what's going on with these. There's no miscondition built in here, so it's up
I
to
think
you.
that's marking your stress because you're sounding desperate. And it's up to Etema.
Yeah. Etema says, well, I don't want you in any trouble, Saaral. Of course we need to continue this good working relationship. So I'll work on who you need. I think Baku. I'll make sure that Baku is somewhere you can arrest him. Right? That'll get them off of your back. You can't arrest him, right?
Sure. Once everything's clear, I'm sure they're just wrapping up the paperwork. Then I can do that. Yeah.
What paperwork?
Just, routine stuff when someone falls in the line of duty. They've got to check that everything's above board.
Are you a suspect in his murder?
Suspect is such a strong word. I haven't been told I'm a suspect in anything.
I think this is a very appropriate moment for the supposed killer of Crixhera to walk into the room. And to clarify, that whole thing was, so you've told Etema the safe house, and Etema has agreed to do that, to help you with Baku. You're going to have to bring Baku in. And to clarify, your suspension is, there's not going to be a move or anything to get that sorted. It's a temporary thing.
Yeah.
Scara and Boxy, do you arrive together? Yeah.
I think Boxy probably knows where Etema is, so he's taking me there, maybe.
And I think I have that nice speeder that I drive people around in, so I think Scara's in the back. And I'm a little bit nervous that I wasn't able to get to serve Etema earlier because it's kind of my job to, serve the drinks and that kind of stuff.
So when you park up your speeder, right, and a little tiny, one of those, I think they're called dumb droids, like the little fixer droids that are in Mandalorian, like comes out and like it's like a chauffeur one, it comes out and it valet, sorry, and it like whistles and like tips a little metal cap to you, and then drives the speeder off, and you're hurrying in when TK2Me goes careful admonishment. Slow down, droid. Your master, there are no masters here. This is the oil tap.
And I think that Boxy stops and slows down and says, "True, thank you. I'll have," and orders from the bar there, a round of drinks, puts it on Etema's tab, and then heads back to the back room to serve everyone.
Oh, you take, and it's all going onto like a little hover droid that's going to take it out, right? And then you just like step in front, kneel, like lift it off, and walk in. Scara, TK2Me looks like a mean-looking assassin droid, but it just treats you with, slightly fearful greeting. Miss Scara, welcome.
Yeah. Hey, sure.
Reminder: no disintegrations.
I wasn't planning on. I'm just here to talk and drink.
Disbelieving agreement. Yes, of course. And yeah, you guys go in, and I think that's when Saaral Muuva is saying that, like, you say, "Did you kill Crick's Hera?" No, I didn't kill Crick's. It was that assassin.
I was asked if I was a suspect in his death, not whether I killed him.
Yeah. But no, I'm not a suspect. They're all looking for Scara.
I think the way that looks is Boxy walks in with a tray of drinks, and it has 4 drinks on it. And he, of course, serves Etema first and puts down a nice drink in front of Etema, puts down one in front of Saaral, and then puts down one at an empty chair at the table. And that's when Scara steps around from behind Boxy and sits down, right?
Ah, speak of the Devaronian.
Edema will stand up and come over to give you a hug. Scara, so glad to see you. I'm so glad you can make it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Saaral?
Scara, just missed you when we're down to Hayden.
Sorry, I missed that. I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes you roboted it.
Oh, was I roboting?
Yeah. Just right in the middle. It's very infrequent, but it does. It's been okay so far. But yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I said just missed you when everything went down at Haven. Sorry about that.
I'm glad you did. Would have been more difficult if you hadn't missed me.
I would have sent a warning, but they confiscated all our communicators. It was very hush-hush.
Yeah, I didn't realize I warranted my own strike team.
Scara, do you mention, the many murders and shootings that are pinned on you?
Not yet. We'll get there.
Okay, cool.
I will take a drink from the tray that Boxy has brought in.
And I think Boxy then pulls out like contraband that's like, these are death sticks or something like that, and sets it down so that, if you guys want to lose yourself in a substance, I think that that's available as well. And whenever it's appropriate, I think I will take my please enjoy this move.
I mean, it's a hold, so I think now is as good a time as any to roll it, and then you can interject and spend it whenever you like. I suppose what I'm curious about this scene is it feels as though, like, someone needs to, if you want to go after Ebla and Czern at the same time, right? You still need to join up the dots on the Ebla side. You know where Czern is, you know where to go. But you guys need to work out that plan between you, like who's going where, what's going after it.
We know who took Ebla to cartel custody. But we don't know where Ebla is.
Purely because the one character who knows about that doesn't care enough to ask a friend about it.
Yeah, I mean, we can find out if we want to.
Yeah.
And I have a quick question. Etema, what have you told Boxy about what you want from this meeting? What do you want from these people?
I want the cook, and I want the cook's wife, and I don't want them together because the cook's wife I'm getting her off world. That is what I want. That's the end goals from this specific meeting. I want to know where Ebla is, and I want to have action agreed upon to get the cook.
Yeah. And your orders,
So
by the
I
way, were to
rolled-
deliver Czern to the Sarlacc's belly. Where he's going to cook from now on.
On
yeah.
my please enjoy this move, I got a 7. 8. I got
So
an 8.
you have a
Yeah.
1 hold.
I have 1 hold. So let's go ahead with the
Uh,
conversation, and I'll.
What is the hold that you do? Do you get to ask
So
questions of us?
I do get to ask questions. The questions are: what do you want from me or my owner? What threat do you pose to us or our life? Or who are you protecting and hunting? And I think that last question is the one that's important to me right now in order to get Etema information. I think we know where the cook is, but I think it's information in the direction of Elba.
Yeah. So I like to step away for a second, but on the basis of the previous, propose a deal. We know what he's agreed to. So I think it's kind of in Etema's hands now to say like the approach here. Because Saaral has already said that she's not going to help with the safe house from now on. She's got you the information. She's done with that.
Thanks to a bit of information from a friend, and Etema just kind of nods over towards Saaral, but never says it's Saaral. We know where the cook is being held, the safe house. We need to hit that safe house. One thing that we need, other than what we already have and a team to do it, is that we also need to know where the cook's wife is, Ebla. I know she's been likely taken. She's disappeared off the streets. Peyton Finn hasn't seen her. Do any of you know where she might be?
Yeah, I think Tren said something about that. She gave what was it? She gave me the pin or something.
Tren was the
Was
one.
that someone else?
Saaral will say, I heard Tren was the one who took her out of Safe Haven and stashed her away wherever cartel higher-ups want her.
Scara, Peyton Fenn came in demanding answers, and then it all went to shit, basically.
Yeah.
Because Tren brought you in, and he was like, I bring you in, I treat you, and then you fucking kidnap my staff? What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I can probably get Tren on the comm right now. Just ask her.
Okay. Can you do
Yeah.
that then?
Yeah, I figure just to get the scene moving along, I can just.
Yeah. So I mean, so the way I'm imagining it is that well, who's gonna speak to Tren then?
I will do that.
Yeah. Tren answers the comm, hungover as hell. Like you can see that she's slightly green and queasy, and then she takes like a big sniff of pulls out a dab of spice, sharpens herself up a bit, and she's like, "Oh hey," and they've got really good. This is a little like droid that comes out, like whirls out of the wall, and then relays, and it has like a little handout for a tip on the other side. And yeah, Tren's like, "Oh man, what a wild night, huh?"
Yeah. I'm really glad I got to spend some time with you. I don't see you enough with everything that's going on. And Ines has me working this job, trying to get this guy. I think you picked up his wife, Ebla, from the Haven.
Yeah. And she doesn't look like happy about that, So I think this is I get the truth.
Sounds good.
Or
not, but
yeah. And you know what? I'll give you a free. In fact, I'm going to give you a free +10 on that one.
Okay.
Frankly, because of your existing relationship with Trent.
Okay.
Like, you trust each other, right? You saved her life. You lost you know, the only reason you've got that droid leg
Yeah.
is because of her basically. So yeah, you get to choose two. I imagine you're going to say they can't stonewall you with silence.
Yeah, I have to pick that one, and I guess can't confuse you with falsehoods. She doesn't want to lie to me, but maybe she doesn't want to tell me the whole truth either.
Yeah. So that's to mislead you with the truth. Okay. And she says, well, you know, I don't. She seems like a nice woman and everything, right? But you know how it is when they tell you to do something, you do it. And like, I didn't have the money. I had to make it. I had to do more work on the side, you know. Like
I
the
don't
whole,
blame you. I mean,
it's
we
their
all
fault,
have to
really.
do what we have to do.
I mean, if they didn't charge so much for that piece of crap on your leg,
Yeah, I know. It's just we may need her as leverage for the.
oh, they've already got her. I gave her like right over to, and I want to cut away now, right? And I want to ask, Etema, you used to be a street worker in Coruscant, so you've had a long life in Coruscant's underworld and underbelly, right?
Yeah.
Who, from the bad old days, from your time that you've been with the cartel recently, who do you know from the bad old days that has only got badder? You know, that has only got worse and worse. This is the kind of person who, in your old days, they would have told you, stay clear of that guy. And he's only got worse. Or she's only got worse, or it's only got worse.
Yeah. I think sorry, I'm looking over our names and slang here. I think I'm gonna go with Pwoish, who is a Quarren.
Quorish, nice.
Pwoish.
He is a Quarren Sicario. I just love the name, the word Sicario. It's Quarren assassin and no Quarren hitman, and I think there's no other way to put it. Torturer. Yeah, that is who has Ebla. That's who she's delivered it to.
That's a terrible idea.
At a like a cartel motel, you know, like some sort of like bedsit kind of squat type building with, you know, she's being kept there. And you remember that Foish, he had those big things, those massives, trained dogs. That's what he liked to do to people.
Jeez.
So yeah, that's where you know, Czern says all about that, like to Scara. Yeah, you know, I dropped it off with Proish, and you know that guy scares the criff out of me. Those massives, like, but she'll be safe. It's just he'll keep her safe. But you know, I had to square things with Inez, with the cartel. I think that's the end of that phone call. Czern is, you know, confesses to you that she's had to get her hands dirty here to pay off a debt to it. So yeah, you know where the location is. It is a cartel motel with Pwoish and his guard dogs.
Yeah, I tell Etema. Yeah, I know. Actually, if I made the call in the room, they probably heard everything anyway.
Yeah,
we can
heard
just
the
we
whole
can just
exchange, I think.
yeah. Well, I don't think you would have done it quite like that, but we can hand wave you telling them all the information. If you tell them all the information, everyone knows the information.
Yeah, I think I will. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's you just come back and say the word Poish, and we have a quick flashback from Etema's point of view to those big massives, and the screams coming from just on the other side of the fencing.
Yeah, he used to use those massives on girls who weren't good earners. We used to think it was a threat until it wasn't. We need to get Ebla out.
And Scara,
Yeah.
you remember you were given her a pin, remember?
Yeah.
To give
Yeah.
to,
Who gave me that? I don't remember.
Inez gave it to you.
Inez.
When
Right.
she gave you the mission, that was to convince Czern to come.
Yeah. I think I will put that on the table and tell them. Inez gave me this. She told me was to convince him to come along quietly. I don't know what's happened to Ebla, but she doesn't have this anymore.
Etema, let me just double check. You're hoping we can liberate into our own custody both of the Vizicks, but without bringing them together.
Right. Because we need the cook to work for Inez. That settles the problem with the Bad Batch and gets the cartel back on track with making money and settles things down with everything that's going crazy. But Ebla needs off-world because Czern is burning her up, and getting Ebla off-world means she's an asset for us to make sure the cook stays in line.
I think that's you did bring this planet before, but the cartel are the ones who have Ebla, right?
That's why I said for us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just want to be clear on that, right?
You're really positing that we're our own force here.
Yeah,
I'm so looking forward to Etema becoming the crime lord.
Saaral takes this in. She says, "It's an unorthodox plan, but I did promise an old friend I'd help get Ebla to safety. I can't be seen messing with the warehouse where Czern is being held. So I guess I'm helping with the wife, but I'm gonna need some heavy assistance if she's being held by this squid head and his attack dogs."
Oh, I really want to kill him. Scara, do you think you and Trin and Boxy, Etema just throws Boxy into this, can free Ebla?
You mean Czern? Or did you mean
So
the cook?
the original
you free
plan
Czern. Sorry.
was
Yeah.
Scara and Etema were going to go after Czern. Scara agreed to go after Etema agreed to go after Czern with Scara. That was Scara's mission.
Yeah, let's just stick with that. I'm sorry.
No worries. You can rearrange, obviously, but that leaves Ebla in the hands of this cartel figure. And I can think of dozens of ways of coming at this that can involve your existing connections, your positions, outright force. Obviously, your route changes who knows what about your actions, right?
Yeah. Right. Trem, I wanted to keep Trem out of this, and she can't help with Ebla, but I can get her along to hit the safe house.
Okay.
And if Boxy can help, that's all the better.
And Edema doesn't even look over to check in with Boxy, but Rich is going to check in with Steven. Are you cool with this? I can't.
You're
You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yes, I'm good with this. And to be honest, I kind of like the idea. If I may propose a plan, I like Boxy being bait, right? Boxy goes in to draw out, someone from the safe house so that then Scara and Czern can do violence.
Cool. Let me, if you don't mind me taking over the narrative.
Oh, no, please.
Edema says, Boxy will not only go with you, he can be your bait.
Nice.
Sure.
Now
yeah.
And if I understand correctly, Saaral and Etema are going to try to find Ebla and get her out of that bad situation, right?
Yeah. So we're switching it up.
Now I'd like to use my hold. Saaral, what threat do you pose to me and my master?
Oh, that's a great question. I think the key thing you need to know about Saaral is she doesn't care about any of you, and would sell you out if that would serve her goals. So,
dang it.
If that does that work for you as what threat you pose, or do you want a more specific one? Because she's
No. I think that's perfect. So basically, it's effectively Saaral can't be trusted, and that you will turn on Etema as soon as you get a chance, and it's beneficial to you.
Yes,
and I think,
and it has to be both, right? I'm not going to turn it on Etema just for the fun of it, right? I'm going to turn it on Etema if it serves my other goals, and I can get away with it.
Right. So I think that at some point, let's continue with the scene, but at some point after the scene, I think Boxy is walking Etema out and let you know that don't trust the Chiss. Yeah.
The Chiss is not binary. They are always in a state of uncertainty,
Make sure there's no benefit for the Chiss to do you harm.
Oh, Boxy totally drops a reference to DeVaronians, right? Like a strategy from it, without knowing, like just by coincidence, because it's just like within Boxy's like there's DeVaronian boxing, obviously in Star Wars, just like there's chess boxing in real life. So yeah. So I think we've got the things. So you've got the Cartel Motel, which I'm imagining is kind of like you guys seen the raid, that sort of
man
appearance, really kind of like run down and whatever. Who knows how many people are in there? You do know that there's a quarren with some nasty guard dogs, a bad reputation, and probably the most innocent person in all of Hutt Cartel, frankly, is also locked up in there. And you know that Czern is in a safe house at a speedy repair shop, being looked over by some CSF officers who are off the grid effectively, because they don't tell people who are in these safe houses. That's the point. It's a trusted squad. But yeah, should we take our bio break and then come back? Okay. So welcome back. Now we're about to do the mission. So at the safe house, we have Czern, Scara, and Boxy heading over towards the CSF safe house, a speedy repair shop. Let's just call it Ray's Speedy Repair. That's the kind of anachronism that would be in Star Wars. And yeah, they've got a plan for Boxy to distract or lure out the CSF officers in some way. And on the other hand, we have the cartel, the safe house, aka prison, aka nightmare chamber of what should we call it? A type of slug in Star Wars? Is there that? Star Wars slug? Oh, the Hutts. Tell you what, let's call it the Dead Hutt. The Dead Hutt Hotel.
The Dead Hutt Hotel.
Yeah.
Wow. Edgy.
Yeah. It's a real slum, It's probably on 1312. It's that bad.
It's not called that because a Hutt died here. It's called that because a Hutt would never be caught dead here.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It was original, and you can see in like faded lines, like no one can read anymore. It was once called Narshada's Jewel, right? And it's just completely gone. So yeah. So that is Saaral and Etema are heading over to the Dead Hutt Hotel.
I think I'm gonna try to make a purchase before we go over.
Okay.
You know, just so I pack in a little bit extra than my service weapon.
So are you going to go down to see the Tenwa clan?
Are they the people who deal weapons?
If you want like really good weapons, the Tenwa clan, they've got it going on. Jantwa, the 3 Jawas in an exoskeleton. That's just evidence of the gear that they've got.
Yeah, I'll pick something up from the Tenwa clan.
Nice. It's like a big like warehouse district that's given over to this scrap empire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then amid all of the warrens, like the maze of scrap piles and broken droids and vehicles and things like that, you just come through into like, it's a marketplace of just weapons, effectively. And Janwa like, Diddy, like as he swears at some droid that stomps out of there. Oh yes, not Ray. So not Ray. Let's call it Bruce's speeder repair then. But yeah, when you buy illegal weapons or tech, roll plus grit. On a hit, choose an item provided you can pay for it. On a 10 plus, the arms dealer is doing a special. Choose something else for free or take a discount. On a miss, you can still buy one weapon, but it's going to be hot stuff.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and roll plus grit as I'm looking around and being like, oh, what's that do? Grit's a 2, so yeah, baby.
Nice.
First 10 plus of the session.
Nice. So I think whether or not you can just afford it on the upfront depends on what you ask for. And you've got a lifestyle of
is it
stable?
What is it? Stable, yeah.
Yeah. So you're not like absolutely loaded, but you can get reasonable things. And reasonable things is, entirely pulled out off the top of my head when you ask for it, right?
What about a grenade launcher?
Well, that's definitely a strain your finances, I think, for a grenade launcher.
All right, but there's a special, so I can choose something else for free or take a discount. Is that correct?
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. I'll say the discount gives you a one of the plus ones from your strain your finances move to do it. So there's like strain your finances has like you've come into a lot of credits. You'll accept something. So I will allow that to be you've come into a large sum is you've got a large discount.
I see. Yeah. I see. So I'm definitely going to roll strain my finances here
for a grenade launcher.
All right, then I'll take the discount so that I get a plus 1 as I strain my finances.
Yeah, I mean like proper military hardware. I feel has to be even in the world of Star Wars has to be like a rare thing as opposed to like you want like a blaster Uzi or something, So yeah.
No. Grenade launcher it is.
Strain your finances. You've recently come into a large sum of credits. You will accept
as it were
counterfeit or stolen, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
You have a contact with Diesel Connections. I think you have a contact with Diesel Connections for the Tenwa clan, frankly. They're happy to do business with you.
Okay, great. So I'm golden here, rolling plus 3 to strain my finances. And that's a 9.
Nice. You scrape together enough dinero, but someone notices your largesse.
Right. Yeah. So like it doesn't go unnoticed that CSF officer Saaral Muuva is picking up a grenade launcher from the Tenwa clan.
No, because as you you sight it and you leave, a Anzellan crawls out from a overhead compartment on a thing and wipes his hands and says like finishes doing business with the Jawas and then squints and looks at you as you walk off. So yeah,
Right.
add a grenade launcher. Whatever tags you think would be appropriate. I don't feel the need to, you know, like look over your shoulder on that one. I'm sure you'll make it like in fictionally appropriate, you know, like loud, area, etc.
Pretty sure it's messy.
Messy, yeah, 100%, yeah. If you draw the one, by the way, they were going to be duds. 10 Wild Clan rubbish. But yeah. Okay. So I'm just wondering, I want to try and like cut back and forth between these two. So Saaral has got the thing. Why don't we cut to team Czern?
I'm sorry, before we cut, and this may force you to make a, well, I definitely want to talk it out so you can make a judgment call. I feel like I am currently clearing the key because I'm going to seize the day, and I'm not even going to ask for forgiveness. Like, I'm about to do a thing.
I like that.
Really,
yeah, entirely.
really against.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to basically rob my own wife.
Yes.
And with that, I was thinking I would take the advance of get 4 weapons and gear assassin, but I wanted to check in with you, Anders, because you're the assassin. Okay, cool. Yeah. So are you cool with that? And maybe
I love that. And
Benoit?
what I would suggest that the 4 weapons are is not with the 10 wow. That is a cache. That is a cache of you know, you find
The
it.
Republic stuff. Oh
Yeah, Astapone's one of Astapone's safe houses. In fact, that's your first. That's a coda to the code, you know, that you got before.
Cool. I am going to go and I'll be adding those into my gear. I just wanted to check in with you before I did any of that. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to what you know. Again, don't feel tied in exactly to anything, right? This was the her go bag essentially of whatever it took to get out of Coruscant.
good stuff.
So Scara, I mean, this is obviously both taking place at the same night, right? You, Boxy, and Czern. Is it just Czern, or is it the rest of her gang as well?
No, not the rest of the gang. We can't trust them, and I think it's better to keep this to a small crew.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to get noisy and louder if they're long.
Well,
And I think Scara's plan is that Boxy in some way will try to distract the CSF officers.
Well, I think that we should probably start off with you when you try to get your gang to follow your lead on something dangerous or costly or out of the ordinary. This is both dangerous and out of the ordinary. Roll plus hustle.
Yeah, so that is hustle. Yeah, hustle. I have a 2. That's a 10.
A 10. So they go along with the plan. They follow your instructions precisely, and they don't demand drugs or cash. So you know, Czern's gang isn't going to be like looking out for her and like wondering where the hell she is or blabbing to anyone about this. Czern is going to follow exactly what you say to do here when it comes to the plan, and you know, there's no sorts of she's not going to get high beforehand, basically, because I think otherwise she would have been like, oh, I need something to straighten me up.
Yeah, I think I have to pick the latter 2.
No, you get all 3 of them. You get all 3 because you're all the 10 plus.
I get all 3. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
so
okay.
So Czern's
cool,
with you. Let's see. Are there moves for like assessing when you read a charge situation?
Yeah, I have the look.
So this is like a speed of repair shop, and I'm imagining like kind of Like those back alleys you get in like sort of semi-industrial areas, like long kind of like narrow roads in between each of them, and lots of kind of like haul down garages and little businesses and blah blah blah. But this is kind of slightly off the main route.
Yeah. Well, Scara's plan, such as it is for Boxy to basically go in the front door, or however he wants to distract the officers inside. Scara will go in the back, Czern will be lookout, and Scara's wearing her stolen CSF uniform just to confuse them, basically. Make them just hesitate for a second longer.
And I think it's very definitely of interest what you're carrying with you. Like if you were thinking in Blades term, is it light, medium, or heavy kind of stuff?
This is everything.
Yeah, you are
because
loaded.
This is she doesn't know what to expect. So she has a carbine, she has the ion gun in case there are droids there. And knives and holdout blaster, she always has those. So, and she's going to use, because I have the what's it called, the secure security scanner. So she's going to try to listen in to the radio chatter before she goes in.
Yeah. So I want to ask Boxy, what's your plan for like distracting them, luring them away from like one entrance to the other, or how do you plan on running interference?
Yeah, so basically my plan is to walk up to them and propose that these are all security officers, right?
This is a speeder repair shop that is actually a security safe house.
Yeah. And I think it's walking up and talking to the security officers and saying, congratulations, you have been selected to be put on the payroll for the cartel organization. Here is a great amount of money. So I think Boxy actually shakes down Scara and Hera for some small bits of cash.
So you're going to try and bribe them at the door, basically, with a scrabbled together amount of credits.
This is going to be a complete lie to try to get them onto the take, and say, here is an upfront amount that is minuscule compared to what Inez can offer you.
Okay, I like that. Okay, I think this is a time for Scara to roll the look. When you read a charge situation, roll with savagery, which I think is, like scoping out this this alleyway from your speeder.
Yeah.
As Boxy like down the road.
That's a 9.
Can I help?
So,
is there a help move?
There is an assist move. Roll plus stress wagered.
I will wager 1 stress. And I think this is me relaying back to you, what I see. So maybe you'll get a little bit better.
Excellent.
I rolled an 8 plus 1 is 9.
Cool. So you give them the +1 and you mark off the stress that you wagered. So on a 10, you have 2.
Yeah. Yeah, what's my way in is the primary one.
So your way in is and the way that you've described it, if you go in through the back and you try to blag them that you're a CSF officer come to get them, your best way in would be to try and it's not to just be calm, it's to tell them that they're blown, and get the hell out of there, panic them. Just because why are you coming in through the back door rather than the front if you're actually in full uniform CSF officer, right? You should have backup and everything, right? The only way to get them out of there is they're gonna, run kind of thing, and then the confusion, and then you can do what you like, sort of thing. So that give you a +1 on selling that idea, basically.
Yep.
To work with your plan. Do you have another question?
Yeah. What should I be on the lookout for?
There is a speeder parked on the other side of the alleyway from the repair shop. Looks like it's been there a long time. You can see that slouched down in it is a human. His eyes, even though he looks like he's asleep, his eyes are tracking Boxy. And Saaral Muuva, I would have recognized this as Bakim from the CSF force. A completely made up NPC, just because I was like, people who you kill should have names in Cartel. And so we'll cut across to the motel. What's the plan, guys? It's got what you would imagine, like there's probably a lookout, like floors, etc.
Yes,
It's not a
that makes
huge,
sense.
overwhelming group of enemies, just so you know.
There's these big dogs there, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's imagine that you're parked on like an overpass from like a ground vehicles, like is over the top of like this sort of really shitty area of the neighborhood, right? Where you can see the Dead Hutt Motel among loads of burned out buildings and things. It's big, and you can hear those dogs barking from inside, even over the traffic above.
So what's the plan?
We should probably avoid that for right now. And Etema says, pointing to Saaral Muuva's wonderful grenade launcher, which then Etema just kind of strokes down the barrel lovingly. That is a nice weapon.
Cost a pretty penny, but definitely feels a little more secure facing this down with a touch more firepower.
It's a shame we'll have to kill those Corellian hounds, but
You dog person?
Animal person. You don't see many down here unless they're made to fight.
Yeah. Well, that's 1313 for you.
Yeah.
Let's
Forget it, Etema. This is 1313.
let's get that nice lady out of here. What do you say?
Yeah. Do you want to do the knock on the front door? Be that brazen? You've got your uniform. Or I know Poesh from back in the day. I could probably get inside, but
What's your story? You just checking up on an old friend?
yeah, on the run from my wife, maybe. Really interested in
Bringing
earning some credits type deal.
bring the lovers quarrel angle to bear?
I think I could probably sell it.
That'll play. So am I coming with you, or am I backup?
I mean, can you pull off not being a CSF officer?
You wound me, Etema. Yeah, I can
Okay.
fly with a low profile.
Oh, so you guys are just going up through the front door.
That seems to be the plan.
I mean, this is you can totally object. This is how Etema does things. When it comes to violence.
Yeah, I'm totally in it. The tactician in me is like, but the GM in me is like, yeah, this is a character just kicking in the door and trying to lie your way in. It seems like you're going to go and like convince them that you're here to take Elba away. I just want to double check. I just want to double check in with you.
Yeah.
What's the plan from there? Because if you take Elba away and you leave these people alive,
they're all dead.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to double check because I was like, that's immediately a lie.
I mean, Etema's so sure of this that she hasn't even discussed like, hey, we're killing everybody. Like she just assumes Saaral's on board with that.
Oh, cool. So Saaral doesn't know that's the plan.
I mean,
Yeah,
Saaral can guess.
So Saaral thinks like she's going to be able to spin this as like, oh yeah, no, don't worry, Prefect Rex. I had a great idea to turn parts of the cartel against each other, and here I've brought in this this enforcer, Poesh, who we can get information out of him about the rest of the cartel's dealings.
Oh wow. Okay.
And
Okay,
I think
cool.
before we like, this is a hotel, right? So before we
A
head down the
motel.
hallway, motel, you're right, yes, motel. Before we head down the hall or down the area to get to the door, I think Etema will move up close to Saaral and say, "Okay, I just need to ask one favor. I need you to hit me as hard as you can." Like,
But you guys
right
have
in the
already been like
face.
brought in past, like, was it Rex, the diner guy?
Yeah.
There's one of those, that alien
Oh
species,
yeah,
like,
yeah. Cool,
behind
cool.
like a sort of like force field kind of, those crappy little like slots where they hand you the keys and things. And he doesn't even look up as you go, and just like waves like the multiple hands like, "Ugh," as you climb up these like really rickety stairs,
So-
going past like crappy floor after crappy before you get to the one that holds the cartel guys.
So you want to look battered, Etema, by the time you turn up?
Yeah.
So you're in the stairwell here, right?
Yeah,
and
she's
so
just
it's
like,
stop.
just go ahead and hit me really hard. I need a bruise or some blood, nose, eye. It's fine. I've been through all of it.
I mean, this is a chance for Saaral Muuva to dish out a beatdown if they really want.
That's absolutely.
This is so tempting, right? But the the thing is, my savagery is -2. This is a terrible idea. Okay,
What
great.
would Saaral Muuva do if given the chance to smack this this rebel about?
Yeah, I'm like, well,
I mean, I can motivate
well, okay,
you.
you're asking for it.
I am literally asking for it.
Yeah.
Give me your
So
worst.
let's see what happens as I attempt to dish out a beatdown. And possibly we derail the plan right here. Wow, it's a 7.
You pulled
Clear
it
one
off.
stress. Yeah, that was the perfect result. Really.
I would have helped you if need be, so I wasn't too worried.
That is something you hurt them, but it's not enough. Clear 1 stress.
Yeah. So this is, I think if it had been a full one, it would have been like you hit her and Etema like reflexively like tries to knock it away, and then you just grab her wrist and like would have, you know what I mean? You would have shown that you're bad.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's literally what she asked for. It's a boomf. Okay.
Yeah. What does it look like? Is it a bruised eye? Did you bust her nose up and it's bleedy, or is it a thing where she's got blood on her teeth?
Yeah, I think
a busted lip. What do you think?
I think we'll give you a backhand that like cuts your lip and gives you a busted nose. Does that work for you?
Yeah. And Etema was like, "Oh wow, that was. We're gonna have to talk later, Saaral. That was good. That was good."
And like my hand is like shaking a little bit. I'm like, not as good as I used to be.
We should talk later.
And I think now we'll cut back to as you guys come up, and there is like some skeezy looking sleemoid like sat on a stoop outside the door, and it's like a couple of rooms knocked together are going to be like their little version, their little version of the safe house kind of thing, and you can hear the dogs barking from within inside one of these rooms. Smoke everywhere and everything, he's not hiding the fact that he's got a very powerful looking blaster rifle on his knees. And then we cut over to, well, I think to Boxy, really. So Boxy, you're going to knock on the door?
Oh, I assumed that the guards were outside, but yeah, if I need to knock on the door.
So there's the speeder repair shop. They're
Mhm.
inside. There's a no number of people inside, and there is at least one person in the speeder outside, like watching the door. And I think Scara can have conveyed that to you as well.
Okay. So yeah, I walk up to the door. I, push the little doorbell button. Excuse me, I need to talk to you.
I think it's very quiet. You keep just like robotically, like in exact intervals until repeating the message over and over again. until who would you prefer to answer the door or the driver?
Let's say the driver. I think they slide open like a little.
Yeah. And he like peers out, and he, it's like a guy pretending to be a homeless person, like sleeping in a speeder, and he's like, "Hey, droid, they're closed."
And I think I turn to him and I flash some credits, and I say, "They're not closed for me. Why don't you come on over here and help me talk to them?"
He gets out the car. You see him like put his head down underneath his jacket. The camera like might dip down slightly behind and see that his mouth comes up to like a comm link hidden there. And he comes out the car and goes like, "Yeah, why not?" And the door swings open behind you, and a pair of hands grabs you and pulls you in, and he steps in behind you. Like, they're not dumb enough to take care of the business out in the street, right? Like, you flashed some credits.
Oh my!
You've tipped a hand, yeah. And a very young-looking human with red hair and freckles is holding you behind, and goes like, "What? Are we blown? Are they coming?"
Well, no. This is congratulations. You are very fortunate today. Here, and he drops some cash, and he says, and it's a mix mash of different types of credits that would spend pretty easily, and says, "You have been given the opportunity for new employment. You can join my mistress, and this is pocket change compared to what you will have eventually. All it takes is for you," and Boxy looks at each of them. I assume there are 3, the driver plus 2 others.
So there's the driver who's walked in with you. There's Bakim, the driver, Miri, and you can see that like in there's a back office, right? And it's not got, there's the back entrance is kind of like down a corridor that might lead to the back office as well. And you can hear, you can see a droid officer like leans his head in, and then like the driver goes like, gestures him away. So you know that there's a droid at like looking at the back door now as well.
And I'm like, basically, and this is a cushy job. You keep your current job. You just talk to the right people whenever this is necessary. I would have you know.
Who told you we were here, droid?
Oh, I will have you know, my mistress knows everything on the streets, and I am worthless. You can sell me, you can take me to parts. I will not be worth the amount of trouble that you will get into.
So you're offering them a bribe and threatening them, right, at the same time with an as basically, like to say that like if you turn down our deal, she knows, that you turned it down.
She knows, and if you harm me, it means nothing.
Yeah.
But I also let them know they have a choice here. They can keep about their job, which is very dangerous, or they can come into a large sum of money. I don't know that it would be any different if Inez came down on them. I don't think there's any more threat here.
I think you miss. No, I think definitely when the cartel makes propositions to people that it wants something from, it's go along, or this is, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. The one who doesn't get the oil gets replaced.
I think that's how they take it. I don't think Boxy. I think that if Boxy had actually gotten these orders from Inez would have said, "Make sure they don't have a choice." But Boxy is like, "Oh,
Well, then I think this is a push your luck, because this is very much pushing your luck to even, because they are freaking out that you're here in the safe house.
Okay, so let's see.
Roll with grit.
So how much of a dramatic performance is this to get out of a sticky situation? Does that apply?
No, it's not.
Okay.
If you'd come in going like, officers, help,
Yeah. Okay, so I rolled a 9 and my grid is a 0. So I got a 9.
A 9. Things don't work out like you hoped.
Can I help in some way?
Well, no, I think the thing that doesn't work out like you hoped is, what did you hope to get from this, Boxy? You wanted to just distract them, or you wanted to basically convince them to turn them over without any kind of fight and just get on the take?
No, I don't think. I think Boxy, the primary thing is as a distraction. And
Okay.
if I'm in trouble if they decide to go on the take, because I don't have the rights to back all of that shit up. So
well,
yeah.
I think that the complication is Miri is distracted and is squinting at you like, what the hell? And Bakim goes like, Criff. And you see him like pull out his comm and just stride out the door. So he's about to call the police, basically, the CSF, which is when Scara, back door.
Yeah. And did I understand it correctly that the best way was to just charge in and
I mean, if you're going to sell that you're a CSF officer and you're going to, is that like you need to make them panic rather than, which will give you, like they need to come with you and move Czern right out of the safe house, and you're taking him. Otherwise, it's a case of like, why the hell are you at the back door? Like, why don't you? Why are you in uniform, you idiot? Like, this is a safe house.
Yeah, I think Scara,
and you're also loaded with weaponry, right? So you're like in a tactical SWAT team kind of outfit.
Absolutely, body armor, the whole thing. But this is just the uniform was basically just, they might, if it got down to a fight, they might hesitate because if they didn't know.
I get it. But your plan was to come in through the back door, and if it's to kill people, then I would say that the even better way wouldn't be to come in through the back door. It would be to blow a hole in the wall if you have any means of doing that. Or slam your speeder in through the garage doors. That's coming in hot. Those are your two options,
True. Yeah, I think Scara's going to just bust in through the door, and the cartel is on their way right now. We have to move now.
Nice. I think this is pressure someone to go along with you, really. Under the premise, you like, it's like on the back of the door, right? And the droid D3NN3, Denny, as he's known, comes in, shink, open the door, then sees you, and then shink, unlocks it all, and then you just push past, right? So, roll pressure someone.
Yeah, so that's hustle, so that's a +2.
Yeah, and you also get the +1 from acting on the previous information.
Ooh. That's a 14.
Okay, so they have to mark a stress. I'll go along with you. We're going to put it as they just like look around in confusion, and you're striding around. You can see a Devaronian like in sort of in binder cuffs, like leaning out of an office door in front of you, and you can hear from like the main garage room that's like off around the corner, Boxy going like, "You are very lucky for." My mistress can, and what the criff is this droid talking about from the young one? So we're going to cut there. And Etema, what's the plan as you come up to this Slimo? And he knocks on the door upon seeing you, because he recognizes Etema, right? And he's like, he knocks on the door, and you hear a loud shout like, "Shut up!" And then a whimper. And the dogs finally stop, and coming out, there's this Quarren, and he's pulling off these gloves. The gloves are sticky with something dark. He squints at you both and goes, "I didn't order entertainment, Etema.
Push.
But 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta sweeten the deal. You need good earners. Listen, I want back. It's not gone right at all. Can I come in?
And he, I think he steps forward and closes the door behind him, and says, "You want that well, little Ratataki? I heard you already have a lover. This is an open relationship now." And the tentacles like swirl suggestively.
And she reaches up and kind of wipes at the blood. Yeah, well, that changed. And I want to change. Come on, let me in. We'll make you happy. We'll make it worth your while.
I want you both to, what are you carrying again? I want to ask you the same questions. You've got body armor, a blaster carbine, a vibro sword, and a sniper rifle.
I got a big poncho on. I am carrying
ponchos all
every
around.
Okay.
carky bit of it.
I want to see you push your luck here.
Sweet.
Both of us in sequence.
No, you know what? I think I only want to see Saaral Muuva push their luck, because I think there are other complications with bringing a CSF officer down here.
Sure. Yeah. I'll kind of
Sorry, did I giggle? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oops.
put on my best, desperate street trash, look and voice as I say, please, we have to find somewhere to go. Things didn't work out for Etema, and the consequences are hitting a lot of us.
So your plea here is that you are helpless and you need his help.
Oh
right?
yeah,
You're vulnerable people that he can exploit.
exactly. I'm rolling with grit for push your luck.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 9.
A 9. Well, I think on a 9, things don't work like how you. I think that he says, of course, but, and he reaches over and pats like your poncho, like squeezes your poncho, like both of you, like rubs his hands down over you both, and he goes, but you'll have to leave all these out here.
I glance over at
You don't need those, and I'm protecting you.
I glance over at Saaral, and I'm ready to. I want to size this guy up right here and now.
I'd like you both to also mark a stress for having this sleazoid's hand all over you.
That's
good.
legit.
I won't argue against it, but yeah, this sounds good. I think Etema's had his slimy hands on her before, but yeah, this is a pretty tense
It's a bad place
situation.
to be back, right?
Yeah, I think you've marked stress every time that's happened, frankly. So yeah, well, what's next, guys?
I want to size him up.
Yeah, you size him up, then roll to size him up.
I will like kind of slowly and seemingly timidly start to disarm as a way of drawing this out. So yeah.
I think on that one as well, he whistles, and the door opens up behind him, and a big Corellian hound.
My God, I'm yelling at John Grimm because this is not random.
Did you get a 6 on size him up?
6 on size someone up.
Should I try and help?
Please help me.
So we don't. So it doesn't all
How many stress you get away
right here? Well, how is there a max?
3.
Okay. Yeah, I'll wager 3 stress.
Okay.
I think
that's a great choice.
That seems like a good idea.
Fully on board.
Yeah, because I'm playing the poor helpless street urchin fall into the clutches of this squid man, and hopefully keep him distracted a moment and help out my good friend Etema. So that's a 9.
You button bit by 3. So it's a 9 now on the dice roll. But
Oh,
you also
Lord.
take three stress from that.
Oh God.
This is all going horribly wrong for you, Sarah, and you realize you don't have backup like you normally do. That hound is very big, and it growls. So, Rich, you size them up. I tell you what, why don't you think about that? We'll go back to the other thing. Scara, they mark stress. The NPC marks stress rather than go along with you. I think that's the option on the thing, right? Pressure someone. They have to go along with you for now or mark stress. Yeah, so they mark stress. And the droid, Denny, goes, I'm too young to be disintegrated. And just bolts out the back door. Away from you, like, oh God, Scara is coming, Scara is coming. It runs away, like, and that does leave you with, as you come up to the door, and Czern, and outside, Bakim's on the comm. Boxy, Miri is talking to you, and then hears this noise from back there, and Czern, is poking his head out of the door, and she goes, "Get back inside, Nerfherder! Whoa, wait, who are you? What? And she's she's got a blaster trained on you, right?
A blaster trained on Boxy?
No, on Scara as they come in as they go.
Boxy stands up and puts both hands up in the in the air and starts stumbling around, saying, "He can join us. We have enough credits for everyone. It'll be fun." Yeah.
You're like a broken droid, basically. Yeah.
Scara's going to, and this is maybe not smart, but she's going to raise the carbine and shoot the guy who's on his comms. Because I just hope she can take the shot from Miri.
I see. Yeah. So Miri's stood between you. Outside, you can see him on the door, turning around with his comm out, and so it's like you're shooting through her to get to him, basically.
Yeah. I mean, if he's calling down more cops here, then that cannot happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I assume this is turning to violence.
Yes, very definitely.
Yeah. Do I still have the extra +1, or is that passed?
No, that's burned, I think, at this point.
Yeah. That's an 8.
An 8. So what do you choose?
I don't think I have to inflict terrible harm to keep him from. I mean, basically, I just need him to stop talking on the comms. I can't take the stress, so I will suffer little harm and resist and avoid collateral damage.
Okay, so
because I don't want to shoot Boxy, basically.
You don't want to shoot Boxy. Okay. Do you want to shoot Miri, though? That's the question. Are you consciously trying to shoot around this cop, or?
No, I don't care. I don't care if I shoot her or not.
Yeah.
The sad thing.
Yeah.
Guess
Miri,
I should have come along to try and keep my fellow officer safe somehow.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you unleash like a burst, right? And she fires back, and the blaster hits you. But you chose suffer little harm, right? Yeah. So it hits you, but you just mark I think you just mark an extra stress for that, because she had you cold, right? So it makes more, and you weren't specifically aiming at her. So little harm is not getting shot by both of them. So yeah, you take that, but he just staggers you back, and you just unload him. blows straight through her as she goes spinwheeling out, and the blaster like just catches like his comm straight out of his hand, and he swears and rolls behind the speeder outside, firing a few shots over the top of his head. Boxy, in this confusion, what is it that you're trying to do while you're doing your drama? Like,
Yeah, Boxy goes running for the door, which is where the guy with the comms unit was.
oh, you're going to run back out towards the guy. You're going to run in through the firing then. You're going to go through the firing line in between these two guys. Like,
so if I understand, basically there was a guy who was on the comms. He was headed outside, and Scara just shot the communicator out of his hand, and he ducked down behind something.
So basically, Scara and this guy are now like exchanging fire, like between like the speeder repair shop and this stakeout vehicle. You know, he's like, they're in a firefight. The other officer is dead. The Devaronian that you're here for is currently unguarded.
Boxy's useless. Boxy is literally going to make a scene, scream, just like we see at the very beginning of Star Wars, you know, go out and go between the stormtroopers who are shooting at each other. But I think as I get to the other side where the guy's kind of hunkered down, I'm going to, it depends on if I get shot or not. I'm going to fall down and then tell him I'm with her.
What, with the assassin?
I'm going to tell I'm going to tell
okay,
the guard that I'm with them to activate my I saw that, which is whenever I reveal to someone that I betrayed them, tell them to fill their stress track.
Okay, he shoots you.
Yeah.
Yeah, get khaki and shot, Boxy.
Yeah, let's see what that looks like.
I'm going to cut, you roll that, and then I'm going to cut over to these guys, right?
I rolled a 3.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, we cut over to Etema and Saaral Muuva. What's the plan, guys?
What are you asking as you size up our enemy here?
What are your current weaknesses or strengths?
His current weakness is that he doesn't know that you got a vibro sword under there as well.
So he doesn't know we're highly armed.
He knows that you're armed. He thinks it's all blasters, right? Which require you to drive, like to pull and aim and stuff.
Mm-hmm,
and he's pretty confident that he's got you in hand-to-hand range. He doesn't know that you've also got that vibro like sword, like that your hand is resting on underneath your poncho.
Yeah. Sweet. I'm gonna slice him the hell down. It's time for violence. I am acting on that information from sizing him up. So I will be rolling a +4.
Will, just to check.
Time-wise, we're running right up on it, aren't we?
Do we want to stop right there?
Well, I was just checking. Did we get enough of a look to know whether it's just dogs in this room he's come out of? Right, like
he's got a couple of goons as well.
Okay,
they will be, you know, like fluid goons. Like imagine as much as makes sense for the roles, kind of thing.
I'm checking whether Saaral believes that, you know, the woman we're trying to get out of here unharmed is in that room or not.
Oh no, I think you would. I think you got enough of a glance into the room to know that it's kind of like there's a back room, you know.
Got it. Yeah, because if violence is about to break out, I'm probably going to start firing the grenade launcher into that room.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Just making sure.
Cool. So you turn to violence, Rich?
I do. Let me add in that modifier because I had a lower modifier than I'm supposed to have. I rolled snake eyes.
No.
Oof. You smile and you pull out that sword, and that's when the hound just like jumps on you and like pushes you over, like slamming you against the wall, and it takes a huge like rend on you. What are you wearing? Body armor, armored, but I don't think armored counts against this thing, so I'm going to have you mark I think 2 stress from getting mauled by a Corellian dog. Does that sound too much?
That's a lot.
But it was a full miss.
Okay.
It was a full miss rather than like inflicting minor harm. You know what I mean? Oh, you are full
Okay.
up. No, make it just one. Make it just one. Because I
Okay.
was looking at the wrong stress track for that. Make it just one. Yeah, as you go down.
Okay.
And he laughs and says like, silly little girls. And he grabs the vibro sword off the floor and activates it. And looks at Muuva and says, I wonder what noises you'll both make.
Well, I think I have to shoot him with the grenade launcher.
Oh my god. Okay, turn to violence.
And I think I have to say, you'll make noise in CSF lockup, nerf herder. So that I can roll with grit instead of savagery when I turn to violence after declaring myself an officer.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Violence time. Eight.
What do you choose?
Man, I think I gotta pick. I think I gotta inflict terrible harm and avoid collateral damage, as somehow he takes the brunt of this explosion.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I think that's going to have you mark a stress as like the boom. And he go, but the camera goes to inside the door. Where one of his guys is like hearing all of this and he's pulling out a blaster, and then there's you can hear this other dog barking like loudly from within, and a woman going like, get it away from me. And then the door just goes like boom, and this Quarren just goes flying back against the wall, right? Flying the door, and outside in the corridor, Muuva is just like blown up against the door and the other wall, right? As Etema and this hound both go like flying down the other way. And there's this ringing in your ears, and you see a door like open up down the corridor, and this like frightened looking like old woman opens it. What do you shout, Muuva? Is it like CSF back inside, or do you just
yeah, gotta be right. Like,
yeah.
CSF, we have it under control. Take cover.
And she just ducks right back inside, right? And you hear the door slam and lock. Stephen, if you can say in the dice room when you're ready. You're right. Okay,
Yeah,
let's cut back and let's see what happened on that get cracking shot roll.
Yeah, I rolled a 3.
Oh, you rolled a 3, didn't you? God.
Yeah, so I'm dead.
So you're dead. Yeah. Destroyed. Walks up, and you see it fall. And Scara, you hold fire, right? And then Bakim just like yells and goes, "You killed Mary, you son of a bitch! You killed Hera! You killed Krusk! I like Krusk!" And then he shoves Boxy out, and then and Boxy.
How about he uses Boxy as cover?
Oh,
Come out like that, and Boxy just takes shot after shot, and then you see the lights dim in his eyes.
Yeah.
You're
I don't
a
think
cruel,
Scara
cruel
knew.
man.
Yeah, Scara, you didn't know that you had Boxy. Like, he just jumped out of cover holding it, right? And it was like, and then, Boxy goes. Wow, second to last session. And the light goes out. I think you have to turn to violence one more time here, Scara, to end this particular scene.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything.
You've got Czern with you, which
Yeah,
allows you
she was
to. Czern was keeping a lookout. She is coming in now. Like, you can see her, like, where she's like, she's staggering up. She's running up the thing like with a blaster. So because of that, you can roll with hustle instead of savagery when you rough someone up as a crew. So she's with you now. When your crew is down for a fight, roll with hustle instead of savagery when you rough someone up as a crew. And she's coming in to help you now. So if you turn to savagery, you can roll plus hustle.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's both are +2 right now. So.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, let's just roll it. I think Scara's yelling at Czern, get the cook, get the cook.
Yeah, Czern, ducks out of the way of a blaster bolt, runs inside, and you hear another blaster go off. And so you turn to violence to kill this guy, to kill Bakim?
Yeah, I get an 8, so I get to choose 2. I'm going to mark stress because I shot Boxy. That's not good. I think I have to inflict terrible harm to make sure I take him out since he's in cover and that sort of thing. Suffer little harm. I can't care about collateral. Or can I? No, I'm going to avoid collateral damage.
That's a very good call.
I don't want anyone else to get in trouble.
No, so I think that you fill up your stress track as you take more blaster bolts, but you do make it. You take him out. Like you shoot Boxy apart, and he shoves Boxy's body forward, right, and catches you straight in the chest, and you go flying back. And as he's coming around, carefully, you just roll over and blow him up.
Because I did the movie thing, the thing you do in movies with body armor, you fall down and then you get up again.
Exactly, yes. And Czern comes stumbling out with a Devaronian that she's smacked around the face a couple of times. And you close it off, so I don't think you even have to flee from security here. So you're in the wind now. We'll catch up next session for the thing. If you guys have got 5 more minutes, we can wrap up Saaral and Etema. Saaral's blown at Etema. This dog and you have spun across. Inside the room, you see a blaster bolt fire through the door from the surviving guy. You can hear screams and shouting. It's all very after this grenade launch has gone off. Saaral seems to be catching a breath, but there's this dog's about to catch his breath as well. What do you do?
I want to kill the dog with my vibro sword. Actually, let's see. Could I quickly?
Do you want to use strategy first?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. I think it's a chaotic battle at this point. I didn't roll it at the top, but you've made it chaotic. Thank you. So let me see if I can fail this. Savagery. Here we go. Oh, now I roll a 13.
Nice. Well, so you got told
cool. On a hit, I read the field, ask the MC a question, and they will answer honestly. And I get to hold 2 to allow me to do a thing. I think I'm just going to spend 1 hold without even a question. Well, here, I'll ask you a question. What's it going to take to get her out of here?
Oh, it is going to take going into that room, killing the dog that's in there with her, and pulling her out, and hopefully doing it before she gets, mauled or something, right?
Okay.
There is basically
2 holds.
There is basically this dog and shell-shocked goons on the inside of the door, right, panicking at the fact that their boss has just come blowing in through the wall.
That's so cool. You're so awesome, Saaral Muuva. I am going to spend 1 hold to kill this dog.
Cool. That sounds great.
Roll terribly.
Yeah. I think as it gets up, staggers up, you stagger up, and you just pull out your blaster and like Indiana Jones style, right?
Yeah.
And then, there are people inside. You could spend your other hold just to kill that. Just walk in through the fire and just kill the remaining guard.
I mean, I'd love to. If that doesn't seem like an overreach,
I think given the time and everything, I think it's fine. Yeah.
You cool with it, Alexi, or do you want to roll to next session and and do this stuff.
No, I mean, my only question is, do you want to spend the hold to protect an NPC who's in a bad
Yeah,
spot?
I'd rather protect the NPC, to be honest. So if that means we have to go a little bit longer.
I think protecting a bad spot then means that you run in and you just like shoulder barge the guy out of the way, right? And you roll away from him, scramble behind cover, and then just leap through the door. Like
God,
crashing it down with your vibro sword in one hand, right? And this dog like turns, this Corellian hound like turns and growls and leaps for you, and you can see a Deveronian woman like crouched in the corner, like where she's been kept for days in this hovel, like backed up against the wall with scratches all at one arm, where she's been holding off the dog, but you distracted the dog. So Saaral Muuva, what do you do? Is this Etema's drawn the fire?
Oh man, because Etema's going after our rescuee. I'm like shaking my head from the ringing in my ears.
You see the guard that Etema just like clocked, right?
Yeah.
Like staggering back up to his feet.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to knock him out with the butt of my grenade launcher, so I have like someone alive to drag back to CSF at the end of this.
Okay. I think this is still a turn to violence.
Yeah. Okay. Can I roll with grit because I'm doing this for the CSF?
But you have 5. You have a stress of 5, don't you?
I do have a stress of 5.
Yeah. I think then that this is you can't turn to violence. You're gonna do that. Is it maybe you're gonna pressure him to go along with you? CSF, give yourself
Sure,
up kind of
sure.
thing. I've got another
I'm...
one of these in the tube, nerf herder. You saw what it did to your boss.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, if you don't want to be calamari, like you're coming with me.
So roll.
Yeah, sure. Let's pressure someone. I got a internet connection unstable. Am I still coming through?
Yes. Yeah, you are.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me roll with hustle, which is for me a 1. That's a 7.
That's a 7. They'll go along with you. I think they're pretty panicked by this. They throw down their blaster, and they yell, "I'm coming out! I'm coming out! Everybody! I'm coming out! The CSF have me, okay? I'm coming out!" And he's yelling it as loud as he can. And you see that woman open her head and poke it out the door again as he comes out and surrenders himself to you. Inside the room, Etema, I think there's one more turn to violence here if you've got the stress left for it.
I do, and I'd love to do that thing. Who's left? That guy who surrendered, or is
the dog?
The dog. Oh, that sucks. So I've protected the NPC. I just need to take this guy down. This guy by Corellian dog. Here we go.
Yeah.
Turn to violence.
And this is a mean-looking thing. It has like it's a fighting. It ripped people to pieces.
Oh my god! I rolled another snake eyes.
Oof.
I think I need to get messed up. I don't know.
Yeah. What I think is going to happen is that this is going to leave them. I'm just going to say that this is going to fill your stress bar, right? You get, and you get mauled by this thing, right? You leap in, and then it rolls out from behind the door, leaps and growls and goes for you, and it gets its jaws right around your throat, and it starts just flailing you aside, right? And you're all about to go to black when you hear a, and Ebla like stands above you, like blasts of smoke in, and she just starts unloading like more and more blaster bolts into this hound, and then she stalks out and she starts like beating the Quarren as you like stand up with like half your face just like completely cut up. So I'm going to say that you have an impressive ugly scar, right?
Yeah, that seems really appropriate.
Yeah. So if you want to mark that down somewhere, and I think that is where we will leave the session. Thank you all for staying longer. You guys managed to hit the CSF safe house without immediate backup coming. Boxy did, of course, get taken out. Scara has Czern and Czern. There's also a CSF droid that did see this but ran away. So who knows how much he'll actually talk about the truth, right? And hey, Scara actually did kill these CSF officers, including Miri, the one that Saaral.
Yeah. See, at this point, I don't even feel bad about pinning Crix on you.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I was just saving you the trouble of killing him yourself, since you're clearly interested in murdering us all.
Well,
who was it who Miri was last seen speaking to at the wake?
That was me.
Yeah. And you guys have Elba. I'm curious where your plan is to stash these people. In between sessions, I'm going to put, there is a safe house move, like a location that's got a safe house on. So I'll put the move in from the deck of locations. I leave it to you guys to define where that location is, right?
Nice.
And then we'll pick up next session. Stephen, of course, can come up with a character.
I'll probably pick one of the NPCs.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right now I'm leaning towards Tuk Tuk and maybe making a rat.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So that's the thought I've had in the back of my head. So I'm going to see, and we can work some of this out via Slack.
Yeah, whoever you choose, message me about it, and I will tell you what their drives have been so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. Thanks very much, guys. I'm sorry I've kept you all longer. So let's wave goodbye to the internet.
It's okay. Goodbye,
Bye.
internet.